and then you can start. Maniji,
Sure,
shall we start the streaming?
We are ready.
Okay, three. Do the count of three.
Good to go? A very good evening to all of you who have joined us on Zoom as well as YouTube Live today. I, Gaurav Talan, on behalf of NSS GGS IPU, extend a very warm welcome to all of you in today's session on Crack the Success Code by Dr. Aditi Singhal, an international maths and memory trainer and a co-founder of Dynamic Minds Group in the Mind Over Matter Season 2, in collaboration with esteemed NSS unit of IIT Delhi and Raja Yoga Education and Research Foundation, a sister concern of Brahma Kumaris. Everybody dreams of getting success, but not everyone's dreams come true. So what is it that stops us from getting successful? In spite of making so much of efforts, why are we not able to unlock the door to success? With these important questions, let us explore the path we should be walking on to be successful in our lives. Gracing the occasion today are Professor Neena Sinha, Dean, University School of Management Studies, GGS IPU, and Professor BVR Reddy, NSS Program Coordinator, GGS IPU. But before I invite our chief guest of the day to say a few words, we are glad to announce that our next competition, which is a creative writing competition of the series Been There, I Share. The main theme of these competitions is to help remove the stigma of sharing mental health issues. The topic of the writing competition is communicating through my unseen side. We would love to receive entries portraying your own stories about the times where you communicated with your unseen side and conquered your inner issues. The competition will accept entries in form of poem, stories, and articles, both in Hindi and English. The submission form, whose link is available in comment section and live chat, will be available from today 6 p.m. onwards till 24th of July, Friday, 9 p.m. So it is now my pleasure to welcome Professor Neena Sinha, Dean, University School of Management Studies, GGS IPU, who is our chief guest of the day. She is also a member of in the University Advisory Committee of NSSL of GGS IPU. She had been associated with Research Institute of Economics and Business Administration, Kobe University, Japan, and BITS Pilani before joining University School of Management Studies as founding faculty at the Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi in 1999. She has held additional responsibilities like Director Development, Controller of Finance, and Coordinator of Indraprastha Internal Quality Assurance Cell. She has contributed many articles in journals of national and international repute, and her areas of research include corporate social responsibility, sustainable marketing, development informatics, and business excellence. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
So, Gaurav, you want me to welcome the guest and...
Yes, ma'am. Whatever your thoughts are about this seminar or whatever you would like to speak your mind.
Okay. So, a very warm welcome to Madam Aditi Singhal ji, Professor BVR Reddy sir, Dr. Priyanka Bhutani and Gaurav. It's a pleasure to be here along with the other participants, and I believe many students from different institutions must have joined. And since it is also available on YouTube, so I also hope that the message for cracking the success code, which is the theme for today's deliberation, will reach many students and will be helpful to them in terms of ensuring success in life. But then the question that we need to ponder is, how do we define success and what exactly is success? So if you look at the dictionary.com definition, then success is about attainment of wealth, about attainment of position and honors. So if we go through the pages of our social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter these days, then they are inundated with messages of parents, which are about the post of success of their children in board examination, of children scoring above 90% and even 100%. So due to the current pandemic situation, the JEE exam and the NEET exam results are not yet out. Otherwise, it is the usual time for parents also to glorify success of their children in these competitive examination. But when we talk about competitive examination and success in competitive examination, one is reminded of Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput, who was able to crack the prestigious Delhi College of Engineering. That time it was known as Delhi College of Engineering. Now, of course, it is Delhi Technological University. So he was able to get 7th rank in the entrance examination, which was conducted by Delhi College of Engineering and NSUT together. And after that, he switched to serials, and he was the #1 star of the #1 serial, which is the serial Pavitra Rishta, if I recall correctly. And then, of course, he entered the Bollywood, and so he had a successful career, adulation, fame, money. He had it all, isn't it? But then it remains unanswered as to why did he decide to leave it all behind. The reason I actually talk about his case is to accentuate the fact that journey to success is not a 100-meter sprint. It is a marathon for which you have to prepare. And the preparation continues for days, weeks, and years until you achieve that. But it does not stop even there. The race continues forever. So there may be hundreds of people racing the marathon of life with you. But for each person, the journey is unique. And the journey is different from others as each one is different. On the track or the pathway, you meet many people, competitors, friends, colleagues. They may impact your journey, but the end of the road, you are alone running your own race to what you define as success. So I think as teachers, as parents, we need to emphasize the fact that it is important to have academic excellence. It is important to have fulfillment in terms of career aspirations. But ultimately, what is important is happiness. Remember, life has a funny way of balancing out just about everything. Even when you think that you have figured it out, new unexpected events cause you to fall back. See that every action you take can have a ripple effect through your life, even if not seen or felt immediately. So be fair towards yourself or others and calculate the long-term effect of every action. Make sure that you treat your life with balance so that your long-term goals are not impacted by the short-term thinking. I was going through some of the YouTube presentations of Madam Aditi, and I noticed that she emphasized on this fact that I am unique and what I can do, no one else can do. So I think this is a message that we all need to follow in life. And I would like to conclude because I know that everyone would be waiting eagerly for the success code. So I just want to conclude by quoting a few lines of a poem written by Sri Sohanlal Dwivedi. It's a very famous poem of our times, but I don't know how many students of current generation actually read this poem. लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती, नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है, मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरना गिरकर चढ़ना न खरता है, आखिर उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. I wish you all the best for a very bright future, and I appeal to everyone to continue to be home and to be safe. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. It was really very thought-provoking. Uh, so it is now my pleasure to introduce Professor B.V. Ramana Reddy, Program Coordinator, GGSIPO NSS Cell for the university and Chairperson, Centralized Career Guidance and Placement Cell of GGSIPO University. He possesses an excellent academic track record, both as a teacher and as a researcher. Besides administrative acumen in technology areas of ICT for the last 30 years. He has more than 110 publications in international and national journals and international conferences to his credit. He is currently actively participating in educational reforms and value-based education in tune with National Skill Qualification Framework and contributed to vocational education in the country. He strongly believes in holistic development and growth of the next generation children and dreams of a society where each and every species living on the earth lives harmoniously. Further, he strongly believes him to see glitter in the eyes of his students as a reward, award, and recognition. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So let me welcome all the participants for today's online webinar on the topic Cracking the Success Code, delivered by Dr. Aditi Singhal. Every one of us in this webinar would wish that we be successful in all our endeavors, be it in our professional lives or enterprise or our family matters, or earning a good fortune, leading a comfortable lifestyle, and also wanting to do something for others so that we are happy in our own lives. However, success means different for different people, and most of us, or if I have to say pessimistically, we see ourselves in the context of comparing ourselves with others, our peers, our competitors, be it in our profession or in our business area. But this is a very wrong notion and is a wasteful expenditure of our own precious mind power. So we should not force, like mothers and fathers also who are in this particular program. I appeal to you that what is success to you may not be success to the child. So never force the child that your path of success is their path also. So I think Dr. Neena Sinha, through one example, gave this very vividly, that if wrong choices are made and it is imposed on somebody, then it doesn't really mean success to that person. So, and when we talk about success, the success goals should be manifesting not only in the materialistic world, but intellectually, emotionally, and also spiritually. So when you balance out things in this way, probably we will not see examples where a level of success is achieved by a person and beyond which he gets into a depression mode. So in this context, Bhagavad Gita takes success to a next level of understanding. I'll just read out one stanza from chapter 2, 47th sloka, which says, Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalage heturgo mate sangsto stav karmani. What it means is you have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to the fruits of your actions. So never consider yourself to be cause of the results or attach yourselves to the activities, nor be a part of an attachment to inaction. So this in turn explains us very interestingly that one should do one's duty, but do not get concerned about the results that are going to follow, because we waste a lot of time on the results rather than focusing on the goals. And the fruits of our action are not for your enjoyment. It doesn't mean that you are not going to enjoy, but it says the concentration should not be on the part of enjoyment. You should not look into that aspect. Now, even while working, you should give a pride of doership. meaning thereby that I only did it, I achieved it. This kind of a I feeling should not be there when you are focused towards success. And the last very interesting thing is, do not be attached to inaction. So constantly one should keep doing their work, setting up their goals, trying to achieve them, and then set up new set of goals to achieve further down the lane. Now, this is the success principle which will give you a balanced life, and you will be attaining happiness in whatever you do. That's a meaning here. Because success is when you fulfill everything you set out in your life and are happy with what you are doing. So remember, life is a succession of lessons which must be lived and to be understood. And it takes a lifetime to understand this. So, as very nicely, aptly put, Dr. Neena Sinha has also said it, that success is not just a measure to one level, but it is a lifetime thing to be done. Now, Brian Tracy, I went through the dictionary meanings and other things, how they look at it. Mostly they are looking towards the material successes. But then very interestingly, Brian Tracy, he puts it, the 4 keys of success, I'll just give them. You have to decide exactly what you want and where you want to go. So that makes it, goal setting should be reasonable and realistic. You have to set a deadline and make a plan to get there. But you should never stop pursuing your goals due to failures and or setbacks. Take action on your plan, do something every day to move towards your goal, but avoid falling into traps of distractions. The last, resolve in advance that you will persist until you succeed, that you will never ever give up, because you may falter at a stage, and beware of criticism and do not compare. So, and then your goals are your goals, because others will not have to set your goals. So it is yours. So this is how things are. Not going through the entire thing. I hope today's lecture will dwell upon these techniques which will unravel the secrets of one becoming successful in one's life. So I'm also equally excited to listen to, as much as you all present in this online webinar, to listen to Dr. Aditi Singhal, how to decode the code to success. So I once again welcome the speaker of the day, Dr. Aditi Singhal, and thank my beloved Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mahesh Vermaji, whose blessings are always with us, and Registrar Ravi Dadiji for his support and encouragement. And particularly, I welcome the guest of the day, Mrs. Neena Sinha, the Dean of USMS. And my compliments to my fellow program officers, Ms. Priyanka and Dr. Gaurav Talan, for their enormous efforts. And I take this opportunity to thank and then hand over the mic back to you.
Thank you so much, sir. You have raised some really very interesting and valid points. It is now my pleasure to introduce our speaker of the day, Dr. Aditi Singhal, who is a co-founder of Dynamics Minds Group and is a Generation Next educationist. She is an international maths and memory trainer, author, motivational speaker, and counselor. She has to her credit Guinness World Record for teaching largest maths lesson and 3 records in the Limca Book of Records for memory and fastest calculation. She has also been awarded the Best Memory Trainer by the India Book of Records. She has authored many best-selling books like How to Become a Human Calculator and How to Memorize Anything. She is one of the experts in a special TV program for youth called Hum Honge Kamyab, where value-based solutions to youth-related problems are given. She has also given a talk on one of the most prestigious world-famous platforms, TEDx. She has over 12 years of experience in training teachers and students on mathematics, concentration, memory, and soft skills. She has conducted over 500 seminars and workshops nationally and internationally. She has also given training programs in various corporates like TPDDL, SAIL, HPCL, NABARD, Idea Cellular Company, MCL, etc. Her mantra is, add smart work to your hard work. She has been associated with the Brahma Kumaris and meditation since over a decade now. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav, and thank you, Ms. Neena and Dr. Reena and Dr. Reddy for setting the stage for today's session. You have very wonderfully addressed and highlighted the main points regarding success. So let's start today's session, and let me share the PPT with you. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants on Zoom, as well as those who are watching us on through YouTube. So today's topic is cracking the success code. Before that, I would like to all of you to answer this question. Out of these 5 figures, which one is odd one out? What do you feel? Which one is odd one out and why? You have to write your answers in the chat box so that I can have a glimpse there. You have to give the reason also. Why do you feel out of all these 5, A, B, C, D, and E, which one do you feel that is the odd one out and why? Okay, Dr. Jyoti is saying it's circle because the shape is different. Okay, perfect. Aura is saying it's C. You have to give me the reason. Shreyas is saying each one is unique in its own way. Okay. Pramila, B seems exposed. Okay. The boundary is not there. Okay. Okay. Everyone is odd. Okay. D filled with different color. That is why D is odd. Okay. Professor Nina is saying B is odd because it has no boundary. Fine. Others are saying that few are saying that C is the odd one out because it is not a square. Okay. Anybody would like to go with A and E also? All are going with B, C, D. Any other answers? Okay, C again. Okay. E also. Why do you feel E? Any reason? Okay. Okay, as all others are same size, but E is small. Okay, fine. So all of you have given various reasons for B, C, D, and E, but I think A is the odd one out for me. Why? Because every shape has something odd, and that's make the A odd because it doesn't have anything unique. Okay, and that's why it is the odd one out. So you may have different reasons. You may vote for or poll for different figures. It's all your opinion. Which one do you like to go with? But most important thing which we understand is, in the same way, success may have different meanings for you, right? You may think that, as already quoted by Dr. Reddy and Dr. Nina also, that it may be acquiring materialistic things, success may be that for you, or it may be maintaining positive relationships, or it may be maintaining a balance between profession and family, it may be settling abroad, it may be getting admission in your favorite company, or whatever. It may be something, whatever, it may mean different to you. Whatever it is, you all have your targets, your goals, which you want to aim at, which you want to achieve in your life. It may be short-term goals, it may be long-term goals, and already said by Dr. Nina also that it's a lifetime process. It's not that if you have achieved something, then you stop thinking about other goals. So how to achieve success? Because we see that we all set targets, but handful of people, they really get what they want to achieve. So luckily, in the last 10 years, I would say that I get a chance to explore myself, my inner strengths, to observe my own journey, and get a chance to interact with many successful people. And accordingly, I have set today's presentation majorly my own experiences and experiences of other successful people who have, I would say, a positive impact on my life, and I have learned a lot from them. So the first thing which I would say, cracking the success code, the first thing which I feel the most important today is, in spite of having all the qualities, all the strengths, one thing which is required, especially in today's time, is self-control. That is missing in most of the people today, not only youngsters, even people in professions also, staying at home also. We are losing that control over the self. We are really masters over controlling others. We really want the remote control of the television in our hand. But the irony is we are actually losing control over the self. And we can see that where we are using most of our time. We set a target, okay, I will spend 10 minutes to surf this on the internet. And then what happens, we all know. We think to give a message on WhatsApp, and as we open those WhatsApp, we can't resist the temptation to see the other messages. And then we fall into the trap, and so many hours sometimes go waste. So that control has to be exercised. And why this control is important, I share with you a small experiment, a test which has been done, which is a very famous test, the marshmallow test, which was conducted in Stanford University by Professor Walter Mischel. And he conducted that experiment in 1972. What he did, he did this test with around 650 children of 4 years of age. He asked them to sit on a chair, and in front of them, he placed a plate with a marshmallow on it. Marshmallow is a chewy candy which children like a lot. So he told them that you have two options. One is that you can have it immediately. Second is you wait for 15 minutes. Let me come back in 15 minutes. And then if you wait till that, I will give you another marshmallow as a reward. So the choice is yours. You can eat it right away, or you can wait and get two marshmallows. So, and then he left the room, and everything was recorded. The children were under observation. And what he observed, that most of the children, they couldn't resist the temptation to eat the marshmallow, and many of them, they grabbed it immediately. Okay, few of the students, they struggled hard for around 2 to 3 minutes, and that could be seen in their body language. They were tapping their feet or tapping the desk, and they were getting restless, and then they gave up and they ate the marshmallow. And when Professor Walter, he came back, he saw that around 30% of the children, they were able to resist that temptation to eat the marshmallow, and they were rewarded with another marshmallow. Now, this experiment proved, and this experiment didn't end here. He followed those children after few years when they became teenagers, and later on also. So it was a long study, and he interviewed those children, and he interviewed their teachers, parents also. And they found the results were consistent. Those children who were able to control or able to resist their temptation at the age of 4 were far more successful and happy people. They were not dependent on others. They were more reliable. They were more trustworthy and more successful as compared to those who couldn't resist the temptation, or those who were impulsive at the age of 4. So we can say that from this test that, and many more tests have been done like that, we can say that self-control is very, very important as far as success is concerned, because a lot of discipline goes on the road of success. Lot many things are there which keep distracting us on the road of success. There may be your friends or your inner feelings, negativity. It may be WhatsApp, it may be internet, it may be social media, whatever. So concentration towards your, staying focused towards your goal is very, very important, especially in today's time when there's so much of distraction. And I define concentration is not just about focusing on the task at hand. It's not just connecting with the task at hand, it is also about disconnecting with all other things which are not related to that task. And most of the time we try to focus on our goal or on the thing what we are doing while being connected with the rest of the things. This disconnection with the other things is also very important, and here self control plays a very important role. So I would say, all those participants who are watching this program today, I would say practice this self control. Do some exercises regarding that. If you have a temptation, if you hear a notification coming on your mobile, just resist that temptation to open the WhatsApp and check it. Okay, so whatever you feel tempted to do immediately, because today the time is of instant gratification. On just one click you can get any information on the Google. On just one click you can order something from the market. You don't have to wait, and this habit of instant gratification is actually leading to loss of self control. एक पेरेंटिंग सेशन में मुझे एक बहुत अच्छी टिप लगी थी. दे सेड कि इफ यू वांट टू डेवलप दिस सेल्फ कंट्रोल अमंग्स द चिल्ड्रन, स्मॉल चिल्ड्रन, देन पेरेंट्स शुड रेजिस्ट देयर टेम्पटेशन टू प्रोवाइड एवरीथिंग एट वन डिमांड. आज बच्चा कुछ थोड़ा सा कुछ कहता है और पेरेंट्स एकदम से, एक बच्चा दो बच्चे घर में होते हैं, एंड दे रियली वांट कि हाँ व्हाटएवर माय चाइल्ड हैज आस्क्ड फॉर आई शुड गिव इट दैट वेरी मोमेंट. And then the technology supports everything. So we should practice some kind of self-control, especially as far as social media is concerned, especially as far as whatever distractions we are today that are creating problem for us. And then the second thing I would say is use your time wisely. Now, this is one thing which I have observed in most of the successful people. It is not about that people who are successful, they have more than 24 hours, or they have more than 365 days in a year. They also have the exact same time which each one of us have. But still, why they are able to make more in that given time? Because they make the most of their time. They don't waste their time. There are so many time stealers. We have to actually check where our time is going. And for that, I would say, schedule your time. Watch your day, where it is going. These are very small steps. You might say that these all things we know. Yes, we all know, but hardly we practice it. This I am sharing with my own experience. Earlier, when I was a homemaker, I used to think like this is my work. I can't do more than this. So whatever time is allotted to me, I have to complete in that. And I used to see that those whole 24 hours I would use for my housework, or like dealing with children and these things. Later, when I came into profession and I understood how to use my time wisely, how to schedule my time, how to not let my time waste in wasteful thinking. Most of the energy that we waste, the mental energy that we waste, is by doing wasteful thinking. So when I stopped doing that, I actually realized how much time each one of us has, and in what ways we can utilize our time. So each one of us, like in the morning, we are given a Visa card of 86,400 rupees. You all have understood what I mean to say, because there are 86,400 seconds in a day, right? So just imagine if you have a Visa card of this much amount and you are not allowed to carry forward it to the next day, and you are supposed to spend this. So actually you will plan what are my priorities, what thing I should buy first, because I have this much money, and that's a huge amount. That's a huge amount, right? It's not small. So then we will schedule it like, this is my first priority, I should buy this, then this, then this. And then I can, if something is remaining, okay, then another morning I will have another Visa card of 86,400 seconds. Okay, so use your time wisely. And this is the major difference which I have found among successful people and not so successful people. First, they use their time very wisely, and they're very passionate about what they do. So because of the passion the energy that they put in their work is actually very positive and actually very engaging. And that's why they are able to give more productivity in the given time, right? The concentration level is high. If you are passionate about what you are doing, then you are likely to use your time more wisely. Then courage. Courage is, I would say, a very, very important thing required if you want to get success in whatever you wish to do. We sometimes don't have the courage if we feel that we might make mistakes, or if we feel that we might fail. Mm. So courage is very, very important. I would like to share here one incident. There was a very flourishing European this businessman, and he was very successful. And once he was interviewed, so the interviewer, she asked him, what is the secret and about your success, and how you get so much of success? So he replied, he said, two words. That was too short an answer. So the interviewer, she was very excited to know. So she's asked, what two words? So he said, right decisions. So said, okay, I understood that right decisions is the secret behind your success, but I really want to know, how do you make those right decisions? So then the businessman said, one word. So she said, yes, tell me, what is that one word? He said, experience. Now, experience is again too short a word. She couldn't understand. She said, okay, can you please give me in detail what kind of experience lead you to take right decisions? So he said, two words. Now, anxiously, she asked, okay, what are those two words? He said, wrong decisions. So actually, we shouldn't be afraid of taking risk, of making decisions. No doubt, we should actually see all the sides or see the problem from different angles and then take a decision. But we shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes. Wrong decisions help us to learn a lot. Rather, recent research, it tells us that when a person makes a mistake, the number of neurons which are getting fired or which are getting associated, the number of those neurons is much higher. And because of that, learning takes place. So mistakes always help us to learn more. So never be afraid of making mistakes or taking risks, or we would fail. Failure, you should never think that I have failed. You might fail, but you cannot be a failure. If you accept yourself as a failure, then you are a failure. So courage, इसीलिए कहते हैं ना, हिम्मत का एक कदम आप बढ़ाओ तो हजार कदम परमात्मा भी आपको मदद करता है. But God also helps those who help themselves. हिम्मत का एक कदम हमको बढ़ाना पड़ता है, right? So I remember about Brian Acton. You must be knowing who he is. He was a computer engineer, and he wanted to get an employment in Twitter or Facebook, and he uh, gave his application there also, but he was turned down and he was not given employment there. But then he thought, what should I do? And then we all know what he came up with. He created the most popular messaging app, that is WhatsApp. So one should have the courage. ये नहीं कि हमें कहीं पर let down कर दिया है, if I am being rejected here. So in fact, if you listen to success stories of so many people, the one thing which was always there was courage. They never let their dreams go away when somebody rejected them or laughed on them कि how will you be able to do that? मैं क्या पता नहीं लोगों को क्या चाहिए, आज का टाइम क्या है, how can you think like this? How can you think that it can be possible in today's world? But they maintained that courage and they actually did that. So that is very important. And then I would say communication skills. This is also one very important thing from various angles, I would like to say, because these things which I am emphasizing, you might say clarity of goal is important, or consistency, persistence, passion, all these things are important. All these things you know. But few things which I would like to emphasize, which I have understood from different perspective is, like as Dr. Neena was also talking about Sushant, what I feel about his case is, had there been somebody with whom he could have communicated his feelings, then maybe, because he was, in our eyes, he was very successful. He has fame, he has money, he has work, he has everything what a successful person can dream of. But maybe lack of a good friend, lack of a person whom he can confide in. So communicating with people, with or confiding in someone very close to you is very, very important. Today we feel comfortable working on gadgets, messaging people. हम अपने ही घर में 4 लोगों को मैसेज करके बात ज्यादा करते हैं. एक ही बेडरूम में हस्बैंड और वाइफ बैठे होंगे एक ही बेड पे, और वो भी आपस में किसी चैट में लगे होंगे, एक ग्रुप में जिसमें वो दोनों भी होंगे. We don't communicate with each other properly. गैजेट्स के थ्रू आज हमारा कम्युनिकेशन है, और जिसकी वजह से कोई गैप आ गया है, एंड दैट गैप हैज टू बी रीफिल्ड. आज हाईटेक बन गए हैं हम, लेकिन हाई टच हमारी जिंदगी से खत्म होता जा रहा है. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम किसी से अपने दिल की बात कर सके. वी प्रेफर टू कम्युनिकेट थ्रू इमोजीज. दे बेटर एक्सप्रेस आवर फीलिंग्स, बट वी फियर इन एक्सप्रेसिंग इट इन वर्ड्स, क्योंकि आज गलत फहमियां भी बहुत जल्दी हो जाती हैं. वी राइट समथिंग बट वी फियर दे माइट misunderstood it like that. So it's better to communicate in the form of emojis. And recently, what I have found among youngsters especially, this skill of communication is getting lost. I share with you an example. A few years back, I was traveling to Vizag, and during the journey in the flight, there was one gentleman sitting beside me, and he was playing some game on his mobile, and it was related to some improving your vocabulary. So I also got interested, and I was having an eye on what he was playing, and in fact, I would say I also started playing, although the control was in his hand, but I was also trying to work out or improve my vocabulary with those words. So it was like that, different clues were given in that, and you have to think about what word it can be. Like, let's say if you are not able to find, then you can clue 1, clue 2, clue 3, and then accordingly marks were given. So after he finished a game, that game, I appreciated, like that was a wonderful game, and I also enjoyed. So he said, most of the time I spend my time in these things, whenever I'm traveling, commuting from one place to another, instead of just watching movies, because in flight most of the people were watching movies or doing something like this. So he said most of the people, they waste their time. And then during the course of conversation, I got to know that he has a very big business at one of the big port of Vishakhapatnam, and he had around 500 employees under him. So I just asked him, like, because he was talking about the youth these days. He said they just waste their time. They should actually do these kinds of even if they want to spend their time on digital gadgets, then they should do these kinds of things. I said I totally agree. Now you have to, like, because I'm always keen how these employers or these companies, they give employment on what basis. So I just asked him, what do you feel about today's youth? So he said, I have so many engineers and MBA people from topmost institutions. They come for jobs in our company. So how do you, like, what do you look, what qualities do you look for in them? So he said they come with very high profiles, with high degrees, so we don't see that. On the basis of that, they have come here. I look for the communication skills in them. I said, why? Like, if engineer has come, then you should see his engineering skills. You should interview about that, or what subject they have mastered in. Why communication skills? Because they have not mastered in that. He said human beings should have some basic communication skills, because they need to interact with people, not just with machines. They have to work on machines, but interact with people, and they have to produce things for the people, with the people. So they must know how to deal or cope up with their stress, how to work in team, how to communicate with people around you. So I judge them on these skills, and accordingly I pay their wages. See, that was really a thought-provoking thing for me. I never thought that way. That so he said that the highest paid person in my company is that girl who writes emails for me, because that is how I get business, the kind of words that she write. So it is not just about the writing skills or something, but the how you communicate, what kind of language these youngsters use today. So the values, the communication skills, that is very important. So from that day onwards, I started paying attention to this particular thing, and I started emphasizing students also that you should develop good communication skills as far as expressing your emotions, as far as understanding others' emotions, and as far as listening to others is concerned. Today, this listening part of communication is actually getting lost. When we talk to somebody, we are lost in our own communication, and we actually are preparing what we have to say rather than listening to what they are saying. We are actually preparing how we have to answer, and that creates that gap, that creates that misunderstanding. So communication skills in that way, because today actually it is time where we need to develop this if we want to get success. It's success is not just about achieving what you want, but let's say you are an engineer, you have a good developed a good startup, and you have innovated something wonderful thing, but you need communication skills to market your thing, right? So for that point of view also, and secondly, what I would like to emphasize here, learn to express your emotions, not just through emojis. It's better not to message 100 friends on Facebook or on WhatsApp. It's better to call one friend a day and have a heart to heart communication with that friend. Have some time with your family too. Know what are the things they are going through, what emotions, what problems they are going through. Actually, what I feel in today's time, what is lacking, or what generation gap is, or what it's all about, I would say, communication gap. It's all about communication gap. तो ये गैप कम करना बहुत जरूरी है, आपस में बातचीत करना बहुत जरूरी है. एंड बिलीव मी, दैट वोंट वेस्ट योर टाइम, बिकॉज हम चाहते हैं आज दुनिया में बहुत ज्यादा लोगों से कनेक्ट होना, और दिल से कनेक्शन एक से भी नहीं होता जिससे हम अपने दिल की बात कह सकें. सो आई वुड से आपके घर में जरूर एक ऐसा कोई व्यक्ति होना चाहिए जिसके साथ आप दिल की बात कर सकें. अगर घर में नहीं है तो कोई ऐसा आपका क्लोज फ्रेंड, लेकिन हाँ, फ्रेंड्स जो हैं वो थोड़ा वाइजली हम चूज करें, जिनके बारे में जानते हो हम, बट होना चाहिए कोई 2-3 लोग हमारे पास ऐसे होने चाहिए. इट मे बी फ्रॉम योर टीचर्स और योर पेरेंट्स और योर एल्डर सिस्टर और ब्रदर, जिसके साथ आप कम्युनिकेट कर सकें. क्योंकि लाइफ में देयर विल बी सिचुएशंस व्हेन देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम्स, यू माइट हैव टू फेस फेलियर्स. आपको कुछ सामने दिखाई नहीं देगा. ऐसे टाइम में आप हो सकता है दुनिया के लिए बहुत सक्सेसफुल हो, लेकिन अगर कोई बातचीत करने वाला नहीं होगा तो कई बार ऐसे ही केसेस होते हैं जो आजकल हम सुन रहे हैं. एंड देन शार्पनिंग योर स्ट्रेंथ्स. I never ask people to work on their weaknesses. I always say, sharpen your strengths. What is your uniqueness? What is your natural talent? Work on that. And this I learned through my journey. When I was writing my first book, How to Become Human Calculator, I was already taking lectures on it, and the demand was there that you should write a book on it. And I also wanted to do it, although writing was not my forte. I was never good at writing. Let me tell you, in fact, like if some friend used to email me or message me, I would prefer to give the answer in voice message or something, or making a call instead of writing, because I was not comfortable at writing. So that was not my forte. But when demand was there and everybody motivated me, you should write, I also started thinking, okay, I should write. but that was one of my weakness. So when I started writing, before writing, I thought, okay, let me check what other writers have written. So I bought many books on that particular topic. And as I was reading, with each book, I was losing my confidence. Why I was losing my, already the confidence was very low on this particular thing, and I was losing confidence because with each book I was discovering, oh, they have written so wonderful. This has already been explained so beautifully. What else I will write? So there's nothing else to explore. What is the point in writing a book when everything is written in the books? And they have written it, they have presented it so wonderfully. They have written so wonderful words and the language and all that. So with each book, whenever I just open it, oh, it's so good. Without even reading the presentation and everything, I go, no, it's so good. He is a wonderful writer. And I close the book. Then my husband said that I shared with him, okay, I'm not able to write even a single page. Uh, Leave the book aside. And then he said, you see, you don't have to compare yourself with others. Just see what is your forte, what is your strength. Why people are demanding book from you? Because you explain everything in a very simple way. Simplicity is your strength. Don't make things complex. And write whatever you speak. Don't see what others have written, how they have written, how they have expressed, what you know, write in that language, write and present it in that way. And then I started thinking, yes, I think, and that's the, there's no other way around, because I don't want to copy it from some book or make another book. I wanted something unique. So I started writing in the same language which I used to speak. And with each day, things started progressing, and soon the book was framed. And what I realized later on, what all, like, the book did excellent, and the readers, what they gave me the feedback is that what we like the most about your book, it's written in such simple language that a small child can also understand what you have written. We have read various books, but this simple language we have found only in your book. So always work on your strengths. What is your strength? Because that is your natural nature, right? What most of us do, we work on our weaknesses. I just give you a small example. Let's say this big is a line. I want to make it smaller without cutting it or erasing it. This is a like line drawn by a pencil, this length. Now I want to make it small without erasing it. So the simple solution is, I think most of you know the solution. The solution is to draw a bigger line. This is how I see strengths. Develop your strengths so big that your weakness seems smaller and smaller day by day as you develop your strengths. And my experience is, when we develop those strengths, our weakness becomes small, and actually it diminishes because of these strengths. Earlier, we were focusing on our weaknesses only. I'm not able to do this. I can't do this. I don't have the this particular forte or this particular thing in me. So we focus too much on that. And you know, the law is, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows, and wherever your energy flows, life grows. So जो आप सोचते हैं, जिधर आप ध्यान देते हैं, वहीं पर एनर्जी आप अपनी सारी फोकस करते हैं. तो क्यों ना अपनी स्ट्रेंथ्स को इतना बढ़ाएं, और जब वो स्ट्रेंथ्स इतनी बढ़ जाती हैं, उससे आपको जो कॉन्फिडेंस आता है, उस कॉन्फिडेंस से फिर आप उस अपनी वीकनेस को भी ओवरकम कर लेते हैं. Right? So this I have experienced actually in my life. Many of the things, when I started exploring my own uniqueness, and this actually I would say I realized when 10 years back I came in Brahma Kumaris. I would like to share my experience there, because today I am talking in front of you. But when I was a child, when I was a student like you, the biggest weakness was stage phobia and public speaking. I was good in academics, and sometimes I have to go on the stage also to take the prize. But that night, I never used to sleep. That was like taking a prize on the stage was also a very bad experience, because all the time I used to visualize in my mind, oh, when I will go on stage, everybody will see me, everybody will, like, I used to become very conscious. So that kind of personality I was. I couldn't feel the power inside regarding talking. In fact, in family also, amongst four people, I could not express my views. So anyway, my childhood goes like that, went like that, and my college years also. Then I got married. After marriage also, it was the same. I used to feel very unconfident about things. So when 10 years back, when I came into Brahma Kumaris, there I got to know that you are very unique, very special. You are a special child of God. He is your father. So somehow this clicked me, and I developed a strong belief in myself that God is my father. He is there to guide me. He is there to support me. I have all his powers. But then I couldn't feel those powers. I asked one of the sisters there, sister, since my childhood, I have been suffering from this phobia. I can't speak in front of others. I feel a panicky feeling, or something happening in my stomach whenever I have to speak. Why is it so if I am child of Almighty God Father? When He has all the powers, why He is not empowering me? So she said very beautiful things. She asked me a question which I would like all of you to question yourself. She asked me, Aditi, can you find a similar person exactly like you? Who is exactly like you? Who looks like you? Who speaks like you? Who thinks like you? I said, that's not possible. Even the identical twins, they have different DNA. They cannot be same. How can there be any person on the planet exactly like me? So she said, this is what I want to tell you. You are unique and special in your own ways. Because I shared with her that I always used to compare myself. Rather, I never realized that I was comparing. I said that I always used to see big speakers or my friends speaking on stage, and I always used to wonder how they can do. They can do it so wonderfully. Why can't I do? So actually, I was comparing, but I never realized that. So when I told her, she said, okay, whatever they can do, definitely they can do the best in their own way. But whatever you can do in your way, there's not even a single person on this planet who can exactly do the way you do things. So unique and special you are. Start exploring your uniqueness, your qualities, your strengths. God has given each one of us our own qualities. And then it again struck me, I'm so unique. He has found me. He has so much of faith. God has so much of faith in me. He said that you are my special child. Then why don't I believe him? Let's believe him. And I started believing in him that I am special and unique. In what ways I am special, I never thought of that, because I always used to think that I am worthy of nothing. I can't do anything. People are so special. They are made special. They are God gifted. They are this and this. But when I realized that, yes, God also has gifted me those powers, I have not acknowledged them. And when I started working on them, because I developed that faith in him, at that time मुझे अपने ऊपर विश्वास नहीं आया, लेकिन उन पर विश्वास आ चुका था. And I started saying yes to every opportunity. I started welcoming opportunities. Okay, now whatever will come, I will never say no. Because in my childhood, many opportunities came. I was good in studies. My repo was very good amongst the teachers, because I was quite shy person and regular in my studies. तो उस time पर तो यही चीज सबसे बड़ी quality होती थी. So very obedient and respect for the teachers and everything, disciplined child. So everybody wanted, every teacher, even principal, she wanted me to give an opportunity. My parents were very loving, very supporting. But in spite of all the opportunities, I could not take it because I never believed in myself. And when I came in this organization, Brahma Kumaris, there when I got to know, okay, I have to just focus on my uniqueness. I don't have to compare myself with others. I stopped comparing, I stopped competing. क्योंकि कंपटीशन की भी कोई लिमिट नहीं है. If you are driving a car on a highway and you think of going ahead with the car running ahead of you, you will find another car, and then you will find another car. So competition की कोई limit नहीं है. I realized if I need to compare and compete, then I should do it with myself. And I started working on my strengths. I started exploring what is good in me. Now, people say that you have a good smile. People say that you have a very sweet voice. I started working on those things. Okay, these are my strengths. Why I underestimate these things? I love sharing my experiences, but for that, I need to go on stage. And that was again a phobia. Stage phobia was there. But then I said, no, I will go and share what I know. I will share. God has chosen me. He has given me opportunity. I have the strength. I will do it. And because that passion was there in me, so I was able to overcome that weakness with the strength of God by believing in myself. In fact, that time nobody was supportive. Just my husband was there with me. Nobody was supportive, and nobody was interested that I should go out and work. In my childhood there was a lot of support, but at that stage there was no support. But still I could do it because I started believing in my strengths. I started sharpening my strengths. And then I learned one more thing, that is the most important step in getting success, is see yourself as successful. I started believing in myself. I started realizing my dreams. I started seeing myself as being successful. And that is why I always say there are 3 steps. One is visualization, second is realization, and third is actualization. So what I mean by that, visualize what you want to be. And I realized that in my childhood, what I used to do, I used to practice this principle unknowingly in a negative way. I used to visualize the whole night, oh, when I will stand up and when I will go on the stage, all the students, thousands of students their eyes will be on me, and I would get conscious and I will start shivering, and then my throat will get dry and I won't be able to even say thank you and this and that. I used to visualize every movement. I started realizing those movements, and actually that used to happen when I used to go on stage. I was actually applying this principle unknowingly. And most of us do this unknowingly. We want to be successful, but we visualize our failures. We visualize our deepest fears. ये ना हो जाए, ऐसा ना हो जाए, ये होगा तो क्या होगा, इसके बिना मेरा जीवन क्या होगा, यहाँ जॉब नहीं मिली तो क्या होगा. We actually visualize the fears, but we have a dream to be successful. It's like this. Want to go here, but pull ourselves here. I just give you a visual for that. If the road to success or the steps to success, let's say there are 4 steps to success, then 3 steps have to be taken definitely by hard work. That is required. But if you visualize yourself achieving that goal, that one step goal will actually come near you and you will achieve that. But most of us, what we do the 3 steps of hard work. But when we negatively visualize our fears or we see our failures, actually we get 1 step back. So in spite of taking 3 steps of hard work towards our goal, we find ourselves 2 steps always far from the goal. And when we visualize positively, actually the 3 steps have been taken and we very easily covered the 4th step, or rather I would say कि वो 4th step जो है वो बहुत जल्दी हमारे पास आ जाता है. I just give you an example. Bruce Lee, you must be knowing, everybody must be knowing. In 1970, Bruce Lee wrote a letter to himself. And in that letter, he wrote everything, that I would become the highest paid actor, the most successful actor in the world by 1980. He set his goal till 1980. And for that, what all he had to practice, what all trainings he had to undergo, what all he has to learn, he wrote everything in detail. that I have to learn this martial arts, I have to take coaching from this, I have to work for these many hours in a day, and everything very detailed planned, a long letter. This letter is still being displayed at one particular point in Hollywood. So, but in 1974, with his first film, Enter the Dragon, he became the highest paid star of the world. The goal which he dreamed to achieve in till 1980, he could achieve that in 1974. And what was the reason? Because when he wrote this letter, he always used to keep this letter in his pocket. And people who know him closely, they said that when he started keeping that letter with him, his graph of success towards success becomes steeper and steeper. Now, that is a very simple formula. We all should stop watching this program today and write a letter for ourselves and all our dreams, and a long letter, and keep it in a pocket if achieving success is so simple. But no, writing a letter, लेटर के लिखने और गोल तक पहुंचने के बीच का जो साइंस है, वो समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Each one of us can write a beautiful letter. लेकिन सक्सेस तक पहुंचने के बीच का जो साइंस है, वो ये है, when he used to visualize, रात को जब वो सोने से पहले या कभी भी दिन में थकते थे, वो लेटर निकालते थे, और जैसे ही वो लेटर निकालते थे, उसको पढ़ते थे, तो उनको वो जो सारी बातें ब्रेन में विजुलाइज होती थी, तो वो सारा कुछ एकदम से उनको एनर्जाइज कर देता था. द इमोशंस ऑफ अचीविंग दैट मोमेंट, वो वापस उनके लाइव हो जाते थे, और उससे उनको एनर्जी मिलती थी. आप कहेंगे कि एक लेटर पढ़ने से या उन इमोशंस के जागने से फिजिकल एनर्जी कैसे बढ़ सकती है? उसके पीछे भी साइंस है. ब्रेन कैन नॉट डिफरेंशिएट what you are imagining or what you are actually doing, and we all have experienced it sometime or the other. ऐसे ही खाली बैठे हैं और बैठे बैठे अचानक से कोई पुरानी बात याद आ गई. When somebody has deceived you, somebody has said wrong words about you or humiliated you in front of so many people, कुछ भी ऐसी बात याद आती है, अचानक से हमको वो दुख, वो पेन, वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन, वो गुस्सा, वो सब कुछ वापस आ जाता है. राइट? अभी वो बात तो पहले हुई थी ना. It is not happening right now with you, but why you are feeling those emotions? Because brain cannot differentiate what you are visualizing in your mind. With each detail when you visualize, actually the brain receives a message. It starts secreting those hormones of those emotions, and you start having that experience. Your body starts responding in that way, and many experiments have been done on that. The researchers and scientists, they did number of experiments. They made athletes sit on a chair, and they asked them to run their race in their mind, and they put all the biofeedback systems. They monitored their pulse rate, their muscle rate, their brain waves, all these things, and they asked them to, with every detail, you have to visualize in your mind that you are actually running on the track. And when they visualized it, what they monitored, what they found, that their pulse rate, their muscle tone, their brain waves all responded almost exactly the same way if they have run or if they have performed the actual thing. Actually, if they have run on the track, what changes they would have found in the body? Similar kinds of changes were happening in their body, in their heartbeat, when they were sitting on the chair and just visualizing the race. Actually, science has proven this. Whatever we visualize with full emotions, if we realize, actually that's those types of changes start happening in the body. We start programming our body. So all is in the mind. All is in the mind. You can improve your potential of the brain. You can improve the potential of your body. Whatever you want to achieve, ऐसा नहीं है जो सक्सेसफुल लोग हैं या दुनिया में टॉप पर हैं वो हमसे कुछ अलग हैं. हम जैसे ही हैं. They have just acknowledged their powers, aligned their powers in the right direction, and used their time wisely. And that's the secret behind success. Visualize your goals. See yourself as being successful. And most important, this visual training is being actually practiced or given to athletes all across the world. Sachin Tendulkar se bhi jab pucha gaya what is the secret of behind your success of making the maximum centuries, unhone bhi yahi kaha, before every match I visualize each and every ball coming to me. I visualize myself making a century. And After that, I go on the field. उनका कहना था कि अगर 80% time I spend on my physical training, 20% of my time I spend in my mental training, visualizing what I want to achieve. So if most successful people in the world, they also need this kind of training or this kind of visualization, don't you think that we also need that if we really want to succeed, right? And then the last thing which I would emphasize here is emotional empowerment. Very, very important to empower your emotions, because this is a place where like we can be very intellectually smart, and we all are. We are all right now studying in very topmost universities, but intellectually we are smart, but how much empowered we are emotionally. So emotional empowerment, emotionally balanced hona or spiritually empowered hona, I would say these two things which are lacking in our education system. तो ये emotional empowerment बहुत ज़रूरी है. And this I realized while practicing meditation. I would like to share my own experience, a small experience, how, what kind of a person I've already shared with you, what kind of person I was. And along with that, I used to be very, very emotionally sensitive person. मेरे बारे में अगर कोई जरा सा कुछ कह देता था, because I always used to have a white collar. मेरे बारे में कोई कुछ भी कह देता था तो मुझे बहुत पिंच होता था, और वो बात निकलती नहीं थी, महीनों ने निकलती थी, सालों ने निकलती थी. That was my problem. That kind of a personality I was, and definitely this is not a good personality trait. मैं खुद ऐसा नहीं बनना चाहती थी, but I had this problem. तो छोटी छोटी बातें, हर थोड़ा सा भी कुछ फेलियर मिला, what people will think about me. I used to think a lot about it. Before every action, before everything, मुझे लोगों का बहुत ध्यान रहता था, लोग क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में. And when I came into the spiritual knowledge and I started gaining this knowledge, practicing meditation, and around I think 7-8 months हो गए थे मुझे practice करते हुए. Then we attempted the Guinness World Record. I had already made after coming into Raj Yoga meditation. लोग कहते हैं कि meditation सीखोगे तो शायद success मिलनी बंद हो जाएगी, शायद आपका ध्यान spirituality की तरफ चला जाएगा, शायद आप अपने goal से भटक जाओगे. मुझे तो सारे goals ही spirituality में आने के बाद पता लगे कि what powers I really have and how to use those powers for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the self. और जब मैंने वो चीजें समझी तो I created the records also, the Limca records for fastest calculation and memory, and the record which I made, the national record in Limca book, I thought of creating that a Guinness record. And it was December 2010 when I was very confident. I was blooming with confidence because I was very confident that God is with me and I have the power of God and I have wonderful successful events just few months back, and every day I was getting success in a way, you can say. So my confidence was really high, and I can say overconfident that my success, I'm born to be successful. It was like that. So we planned that event in a big way. All media people have come for covering that event. Star TV, Z News, and every big channel, print media was there. And there was like a binary sequence which I have to memorize in 1 minute, the longest sequence. But I made a mistake and that record was not made. And I was given 3 chances, but record every time I made, because it was a huge binary sequence. So I made sometimes a mistake of 0 or a 1 or something. Anyway, that record was not made. It was a failure, I would say. People said, like, everybody was disappointed. Media people were also disappointed because interviews have already been taken to be telecasted and there was high competition. We were the first one to telecast this, and when the record was not made, is everybody in the judges were also disappointed. But I don't know what was happening to me. I was just seeing it as a film, as if something is happening to me. Yes, it was happening to me, but I was not getting. I can't explain. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैं किसी और को देख रही हूँ, किसी और के साथ ही हो रहा है, मेरे साथ कुछ नहीं हो रहा. I was like greeting everybody. कोई बात नहीं, फिर करेंगे. Next time आपको फिर बुलाएंगे, फिर आइएगा. And I was like doing this, closing the event. When I was coming back home, on my way back, my mother called me, and actually she was also feeling very emotional, and उनकी आवाज से पता लग रहा था she has cried a lot and feeling very sorry for me. तो when she called me, she said कि अदिति कोई बात नहीं, होता है, next time करेंगे. मैंने कहा आप रो कर चुके हो? तो and then she started crying, and then she said कि मैं तो तब से ही रोए जा रही हूँ, बड़ी मुश्किल से अपने को संभाला है, then मुझे लगा कि तुझे भी संभालने की जरूरत है, तू ठीक है ना? मैंने कहा मुझे तो रोना आ ही नहीं रहा आज, मुझे रोने की क्या बात है इसमें. एंड देन आई रियलाइज्ड, मैंने अपनी मम्मी को यही कहा, मैंने कहा यू नो आई एम फीलिंग सो प्राउड. आपको रोते हुए देखकर मुझे ये रियलाइज हो रहा है, आई एम फीलिंग सो प्राउड अबाउट माई सेल्फ इन माई होल सोशल सर्कल, इन माई रिलेशनशिप्स, my maternal side, paternal side, all like my cousins as well, everywhere. There is not even a single person who could think so high of attempting a Guinness World Record. And I have thought so high कि हुआ कैसे, मैं तो एक नॉर्मल स्टेज पे नहीं जा सकती थी, ये आज हुआ कैसे, इतना बड़ा सोच लिया, इतने मीडिया को बुला लिया, इतना अटेम्प्ट कर लिया, और उसके बाद भी कोई फीलिंग भी नहीं आ रही. बिकॉज आई रिमेम्बर जब लिम्का रिकॉर्ड भी बना था तो मुझे ऐसी कोई खास खुशी नहीं हुई थी. मैं सोच रही थी लाइफ बहुत चेंज हो जाएगी, लेकिन ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं. और आज जब नहीं बना है, देन ऑल्सो आई एम फीलिंग वेरी बैलेंस्ड. इनफैक्ट मुझे आज ये लग रहा है कि बचपन से जो मेरा एक इमोशनल ड्रॉबैक था, छोटी छोटी बातों पे कमजोर पड़ जाना, आज मैं उसमें सक्सेसफुल हुई हूँ. एंड दैट इज द बिगेस्ट विक्ट्री. आई एम रियली बॉर्न टू बी सक्सेसफुल. और मैं अपने आप को, मेरे को एक बार भी ये मोमेंट नहीं आया, एक बार भी ये थॉट नहीं आया ओ गॉड मेरे साथ था, फिर मेरी सक्सेस क्यों नहीं हुई, मैं कैसे अनसक्सेसफुल हो सकती हूँ, बिकॉज आई हैड डीप फेथ इन हिम. तो मुझे यही था, मैंने कहा मैं अनसक्सेसफुल हुई नहीं ना. दुनिया को नहीं पता, दुनिया के सामने इट इज अ फेलियर, बट now today it doesn't matter what people think about me. I have been victorious in this situation, and I was actually feeling so proud in that moment कि वो एक आज तक मेरी लाइफ में एक सक्सेसफुल मोमेंट की तरह मैं उसको याद करती हूँ. और उस इमोशनल एम्पावरमेंट मैं क्रेडिट देती हूँ. उस दिन मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि yes, the meditation which I have been practicing, the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge which I am taking, that is actually helping me coming over my emotions and giving that strength, जो एक दिन में पता नहीं लगती, लेकिन slowly and gradually I was evolving. I was like actually coming out of my negative emotions. और मुझे उस दिन बहुत बड़ी जीत अनुभव हुई. एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट, उस इमोशनल एम्पावरमेंट को मैंने फील किया आगे बहुत सारी सक्सेसेस में. ऐसा नहीं, रास्ते में बहुत फेलियर्स मिले, बट आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी. एट ईच फेलियर आई लर्नड अ लॉट, and I really, like, I felt the presence of God with me, the blessings of all the people around me, and I never treated any failure as failure. I can never be a failure. I may fail at times, but I am not a failure. So that is the thing which I really realized, and I really wish to convey this message to all of you. Life में बहुत बार ऐसा कुछ होता है जैसा हम चाहते हैं exactly वैसा नहीं होता. Although वो Guinness record बना फिर after 2 years, and that is again a beautiful experience. But to cut short it, I would say कि meditation is not something which has to be done after the age of 60, or the spiritual knowledge has to be taken when all your goals have been achieved. Because I will just take 2 more minutes, because just 2 days back we have been conducting this lockdown period. I thought why not utilize this time in a wise way, and we have been conducting meditation programs for people from all walks of life, and we have already conducted successfully 3 meditation camps, and people are actually getting benefit. So one of the participants just 2 days back, he messaged me. He said, ma'am, I'm working in a corporate, and I'm a young person of 25 years just. I really got a lot to know from the spiritual knowledge, but when my seniors, they got to know that I am practicing this Raj Yoga meditation, so they said, this is not your age of going into spirituality. You have to do a lot in your life. You have to achieve so many goals, set up your family and all these things. Spirituality is not for you. हम ही अभी तक spiritual life में नहीं गए, हमें ही बहुत कुछ करना है. So like he actually got confused. He asked me, should I pursue it further or not? Should I stop doing it? तो मैंने उसको यही बोला, मैंने कहा व्हाट डू यू फील in this 1 month of practicing meditation? Do you feel some clarity in your thinking process? He said yes. I asked him, do you feel empowered in any way? He said yes, a lot. So I just asked him, okay, empowerment and clarity of mind, are these two skills required in achieving your goals? He said, I got the answer. Because you see, these are the skills. The youth today is confused. He is not acknowledging that the youth, they are not acknowledging their powers. And spirituality is something which helps us to find our uniqueness, find our strengths, and not just use it for ourselves, but how to put our strengths or how to make our strengths useful for the society. इसीलिए मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि आप अपना लक्ष्य जो रखो, गोल जो रखो, कीपिंग द सोसाइटी नीड्स इन योर माइंड, बिकॉज सक्सेस आपको अकेले नहीं मिलनी है, इतनों की नीड्स पूरी करेंगे तो उनकी दुआएं भी, उनकी एनर्जी भी साथ में जुड़ जाएगी, एंड देन यू विल बी मोर सक्सेसफुल. And this is what spirituality tells us, what you have to offer for the society, because आप जो भी कुछ देंगे अपनी सर्विसेज सोसाइटी में ही तो देंगे ना, तो सोसाइटी के लिए मैं बेस्ट अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या कर सकता हूँ. एंड दिस uniqueness, this inner strength, we get to know when we meditate, when we clear our thoughts here, when we get rid of the negative thoughts and we pay attention to what is there in my control. When we stop paying attention to things which are not in my control, stop paying attention to the outside happenings, outside events, and start focusing on the self. So I would say, अपने आप से हम ये बातें जरूर करें. मेडिटेशन क्या है? एक छोटा सा आपको सेल्फ टॉक है. Say to yourself every morning, I am my own unique self, special, creative, and wonderful. This is what I have learned. I say it to myself daily. And it's not that you have to memorize it, it's what you want to see yourself as. I'm strong, able, and calm. I radiate love and happiness to everybody I meet. You may feel jealous or you may not feel very happy about seeing others, but speak to yourself. I radiate love and happiness. You will see, you will experience, you will start radiating. My thoughts are under my control. I love and accept myself unconditionally. I know I can do it. I know I can do it. ये self talk जो है वो आपके thoughts को channelize करेगी towards your powers, towards acknowledging and generating more powers. And this is what I call as ATM. उस ATM से तो आप अपनी pocket को charge करते हैं. इस ATM से you can charge your mind, empower your mind, and use it to achieve what you want to achieve. So Raj Yoga meditation online course को experience कर सकते हैं. It is starting from 21st July. Luckily थोड़ा dates ऐसे coincide कर गए when Priyanka ma'am she approached me and I shared with her. तो dates भी ऐसी थी. You can enroll for this particular course. 21st July से start हो रहा है and the timings will be in the evening. And special request for professionals and from professionals and students have come क्योंकि इससे पहले हमने तीनों batches morning में लिए थे. So teachers, professionals and students का खास request था कि शाम का batch लीजिए. So it is from 5 to 6 daily for 15 days. It is a 15 days course because you see it's not, you have to know a lot about yourself and your powers that you will get to know. You can register online or you can WhatsApp at this number if you find any difficulty. Otherwise you have to register online on the link given. So I would request all of you to sit for just 1 minute in silence and we will practice this. Om Shanti. I am a very special and unique creation of God. I'm beautiful. I'm strong, yet I'm calm. I have very special qualities gifted by God. and I use these qualities. I offer these qualities for the welfare of the society. I acknowledge my inner strength, my powers. I know I'm capable of achieving my dream. Almighty Godfather and His powers are always with me. He is there to guide me, empower me, support me in whatever I do. He is my Father. He is my companion. Thank you, God, for always being there for me, for being my companion. Om Shanti. So this course is absolutely free, no charges for that. I would like to summarize the whole thing in the word success itself so that you don't have to remember it also. So this will help you to remember. Thank you so much. Thanks. I would like to extend this warm thanks to everybody in the team, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Neena, our Vice Chancellor, Gaurav sir, Priyanka ma'am, everybody in the team who is actually, and other people also whom I have not addressed, but those who actually is doing a very noble work, I would say, empowering the students who are the future of tomorrow. So thank you so much for being a part of this venture. Om Shanti. If there are any questions, then you may ask.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I must appreciate today's session. And there is one more strength that we have realized. Whenever we have a session with you, we had a session with you last series also. The session is always a very heart to heart conversation. So we really feel that we have met you and we have learned so many new things today. So thank you so much for that heart to heart conversation, is what I would like to call it rather than a session. But it was indeed very useful. We do have a few questions. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
the
would
first,
appreciate if you could be a bit louder.
yeah, ma'am. So the first question is, I think it is more about, improving the damage that has been done. Like you rightly pointed out, that we have lost our communication skills. So that we all realize. But how do we improve on our communication skills now? Can you suggest some ways on which we can actually improve our communication skills?
Yes. First is expressing yourself. I would say start with little things. Talk to your friends, which we have actually stopped talking. We have actually started messaging all our friends. So I would suggest that please start sharing your emotions instead of just messaging happy birthday to you and giving your wishes and emojis and all your feelings in just 2 lines. I would say take out just 5 minutes for them. And it's a good, I would say, a bond which you can develop through actually communicating with them. Talk with your family members. You may have created a gap, but it's never too late. At least we can offer in our family, okay, let's have one meal together. Let's, okay, nobody's there to ask you, but you can make an initiative. आप आगे जाकर किसी से कह सकते हैं क्योंकि how is life going on? आपका आज का दिन कैसा रहा? Can I help you in some way? right? Don't expect others will offer that to you, because अभी वो gap आ चुका है. To bridge the gap, I have to take the first step. So that is very important. Friends के साथ भी हम communicate करें, and it's not important to start developing that closeness with lot many friends. One or two friend is enough, right? And with your parents also, with your siblings also, have a heart to heart communication. You can start it by just asking them, how's your day? मेरा दिन आज ऐसा गया. I want to discuss. I want to take some help from you. Like this is how I do it. कि मुझे जिससे communication बढ़ाना होता है, मतलब don't ever show I have to offer something to you. Ask them for something. क्या आपके पास हमारे लिए थोड़ा time होगा? Can you help me in this? Yeah, just asking about the well-being. तो उससे हम पास आ सकते हैं. ठीक है, एक दो बार कोई कहेगा भाई आज कहाँ से ईद का चांद निकला है, आज तुम्हें कैसे याद आ गई? हाँ तो आप कहो ना, मैं कोई पुरानी फोटोग्राफ देख रहा था आपकी और मुझे आपकी याद आ गई, आई फेल्ट लाइक टॉकिंग टू यू. आप बस इतना कहो, सामने वाला तो वैसे ही रेडी है. ठीक है, सो हार्ट टू हार्ट कम्युनिकेशन. देन सेकेंडली आई वुड से प्रोफेशनली ऑल्सो यू शुड डेवलप कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. ये तो हुआ कि हमारे अपने क्लोज सर्कल की बात है. प्रोफेशनली ऑल्सो लर्न द एटिकेट्स, हाउ टू स्पीक टू योर सीनियर्स. सो उसके लिए देर आर सो मेनी कोर्सेज, और रादर मैं ये कहूँगी कोर्सेज ज़्यादा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You just should have the patience to listen to how others speak. जो आपके रोल मॉडल्स हैं, आप उनको ऑब्जर्व करें वो कैसे बात करते हैं. दिस इज हाउ लाइक आई लर्न थिंग्स. मैं जिनसे प्रभावित होती हूँ, मैं उनको क्लोजली ऑब्जर्व करती हूँ कि हाउ दे यूज टू स्पीक, और हाउ दे यूज टू एड्रेस एल्डर्स, या छोटों से भी वो कैसे बात करते हैं. उससे बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज मिलती है. आप जो शायद कोर्सेज करेंगे उससे प्रैक्टिकल नहीं मिलता, लेकिन जब हम इस तरीके से किसी को ऑब्जर्व करते हैं तो हमें, लेकिन हाँ, किसको ऑब्जर्व करना है, किसको अपना आइडल बनाना है, वो एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है. That's how you can work on both kinds of communication skills. And most important thing, सुनिए, दूसरों की बातें सुनिए. डेवलप लिसनिंग स्किल्स. थोड़ी देर चुप रहना सीखें हम जब कोई सामने वाला बोल रहा है. ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल है. यू नो, डॉक्टर्स के पास पेशेंट्स आज दिनों दिन बढ़ते क्यों जा रहे हैं, क्यों जाते हैं? उनको सिर्फ कोई डॉक्टर सुन ले, आधी बीमारी वहीं खत्म हो जाती है. प्लीज लिसन. दिस इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट कम्युनिकेशन स्किल.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. The next question is, how do I increase my self-confidence and overcome stage fear? I think you're the best person to answer this question. How did you do it yourself?
See, जब तक मैं ये विश्वास नहीं कर पाई, खुद पे विश्वास नहीं हुआ, बट मुझे बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग फेथ, आई डेवलप्ड अ स्ट्रॉन्ग फेथ, एज आई told you also in the session. I developed a strong faith on this fact that I am his child. He is my father and he is always there to support me. मुझे ऐसा लगता था, मैं आई यूज टू विजुअलाइज. वन स्टेप इज विजुअलाइजेशन. मुझे ऐसा लगता था मैं बॉडी इज शेकिंग. I used to visualize God's light is there to help me remove that shaking and to make me stable. I always had strong belief when I have called him, invited him, he is there. And I used to visualize. This is a very important thing. Just visualize in your mind what you want to do and how you want to do. How you want to do, that is very important. Visualize that. हम करते ही गलती हैं. स्टेज पे बोलना चाहते हैं लेकिन अपने आप को कांपते हुए देखते हैं. मैंने यही किया ना इतने साल. मैंने बस उस पिक्चर को चेंज किया. सेल्फ इमेज को चेंज करना है, और ये मेडिटेशन ने बहुत मुझे हेल्प करा, क्योंकि मेडिटेशन इज ऑल अबाउट विजुअलाइजिंग योरसेल्फ इन अ पॉजिटिव इमेज, टॉकिंग टू योरसेल्फ इन अ विद अ पॉजिटिव फ्रेमवर्क. हमारा कोई फ्रेंड डिमोटिवेटेड होता है, वी नो लॉट मेनी थिंग्स हाउ टू मोटिवेट माय फ्रेंड. जब हम खुद डिमोटिवेट हो रहे होते हैं, हमारा मोरल डाउन हो रहा होता है, कांट वी सेल्फ टॉक टू आवरसेल्व्स? सो ये जो सेल्फ टॉक है और विजुअलाइजेशन, दीज टू थिंग्स हेल्प अस अ लॉट. मैं एक छोटी सी कहानी से इसको आपको बताऊंगी, not getting too long about it. There was a person in the village who used to own two dogs, one black and one white, and he used to make them fight on the weekend. तो वो जो फाइट होती थी वो बहुत फेमस थी, पूरे गांव में बहुत फेमस थी. दूर दूर के गांव के लोग आते थे उस फाइट को देखने. व्हाई? बिकॉज जो ओनर था उन डॉग्स का, वो जिस पे बेट लगाता था वही डॉग जीतता था. जब वो ब्लैक डॉग पे बेट लगाता था तो ब्लैक जीतता था, जब वो व्हाइट पे लगाता था व्हाइट जीतता था. एंड एवरीबॉडी वाज अमेज्ड कि ऐसा कैसे होगा, ये देखने के लिए आते थे. देन व्हेन वन ऑफ द डॉग डाइड, तो किसी ने पूछा भाई अब तो सीक्रेट बता दो, अब तो फाइट ही बंद हो गई, सीक्रेट बता दो कि कैसे ऐसे, तुम्हें कैसे पता लगता था विच डॉग इज गोइंग टू विन. तो कहता था द डॉग whom I used to feed the whole week is going to win. I knew that. मैं एक ही डॉग को खिलाता था पूरे हफ्ते. तो वो ऐसे ही वन ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट डॉग आर देयर इन आवर माइंड आल्सो. दे ऑलवेज कीप फाइटिंग. विच डॉग विल विन डिपेंड्स किसको मैं नरिश करती हूँ, किसको मैं खाना देती हूँ, किसको मैं अटेंशन देती हूँ. यू अंडरस्टैंड? जितना जितना अटेंशन देंगे वो ग्रो होता जाएगा, दूसरा कम होता जाएगा. करके देखिए आप इस बात को.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful answer. There is one last question. I believe it is about setting priorities. So it says, how do you decide between what is responsibility or commitment or a job which must be done exceptionally well at any cost?
That actually, I think it's not just you have to decide, that is the team that has to decide कि कौन सा काम करना है. Definitely targets जो होते हैं, like जो आपके, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू सी. इसके लिए एक मैं रूल बताती हूँ, चलो प्रायोरिटाइजेशन का आपको एक रूल बताती हूँ कि उसके लिए 4 Ds होते हैं. डू, डेलीगेट, डिले एंड डिलीट. ठीक है? डू, डेलीगेट, डिले एंड डिलीट. बिकॉज देयर लॉट मेनी थिंग्स. हमारी फैमिली कमिटमेंट्स भी हैं, हमारे प्रोफेशनल कमिटमेंट्स भी हैं, हमारे सोशल कमिटमेंट्स भी हैं. अब उनको प्रायोरिटाइज कैसे करें? तो पहले तो आप लिस्ट बनाइए क्या क्या काम है करने के, और फिर उसके हिसाब से देखिए कौन सा काम इसमें से डेलीगेट हो सकता है, किसी और को दिया जा सकता है. What things I can just postpone, just delete for the next week. ठीक है? It may be watching a movie, it may be going out somewhere or eating food. चलो उसको मैं थोड़ा compensate कर सकता हूँ. राइट? ठीक है? तो वो चीज हम, या ये मान लीजिए कि आज मुझे अपना फेसबुक अपडेट करना है, वो ठीक है अगले हफ्ते भी हो सकता है. ऐसी चीजों को हम थोड़ा सा आगे करते हैं. लेकिन जो काम करना ही है, डू वाली लिस्ट में है, वो करना ही है. और उसको फिर हम आगे नहीं करें, उसको चाहे रात को देर हो जाए, काम को करें, अदरवाइज थिंग्स गेट पाइल्ड अप. तो इन 4 चीजों से मैं हमेशा, मैं जो फॉर्मूला यूज करती हूँ कि देयर आर फ्यू थिंग्स व्हिच आई कैन पोस्टपोन. लाइक माय सन इज इफ आस्किंग मी टू मेक समोसास टुडे, तो आई कैन से या लवली आइडिया, आई विल मेक डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि मुझे उसको भी प्रायोरिटी देनी है, उस चीज को भी, अपनी फैमिली लाइफ को भी इंपॉर्टेंस देनी है. बट टुडे इज माय प्रेजेंटेशन, कैन वी मेक इट टुमारो? तो अब ये गिल्ट नहीं आना चाहिए, अरे बेटे ने आज समोसे बनाने को गए, मैंने मना कर दिया. नहीं, गिल्ट नहीं आना चाहिए, बिकॉज आई प्रायोरिटाइज, दिस इज अ कमिटमेंट विच आई हैव डन. बच्चों के साथ अपनी कमिटमेंट है मेरी, बट लेकिन हाँ, आई प्रॉमिस कल बनाते हैं, लेट इट बी द फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी देन. तो इस तरीके से हमें प्रायोरिटाइज करना पड़ेगा कौन सा काम पहले करना है. बट टेकिंग परमिशन ऑफ द अदर्स, लाइक जैसे मैंने अभी इस एग्जाम्पल में बताया, आई डोंट हैव टू अपसेट माई सन ऑल्सो. मैं ऑफिस का ज्यादा काम कर रही हूँ तो मुझे फैमिली को डिस्टर्ब नहीं करना. आई हैव टू सीक देयर परमिशन इफ आई एम टेकिंग देयर टाइम इन समथिंग, राइट? और यहाँ मैं ऑफिस का टाइम घर के लिए यूज कर रही हूँ, देन ऑल्सो आई शुड सीक द परमिशन ऑफ माई टीम कि आज थोड़ा सा ये प्रॉब्लम है, कैन आई. ऐसे नहीं, अपनी मनमर्जी नहीं उसमें होनी चाहिए. हमें सबकी राय लेकर, सबको खुश रखकर हम करेंगे तो वो एनर्जी हमारी भी अच्छी बनी रहेगी. एंड देन आई थिंक वी वुड बी एबल टू प्रायोरिटाइज इन अ बेटर वे.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think those were wonderful answers. I hope all the participants have got those required answers on which they can reflect during the week. And the speciality of the answers was that you gave such wonderful mnemonics to remember the 4 Ds. Thank you. Now, I, Priyanka Bhutani, on behalf of NSS GGS IPU and all the participants, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to you, ma'am, Dr. Aditi Singhal, for giving us your time for another great session in the Mind Over Matter 2. For those of you who didn't join for the Mind Over Matter Season 1, there is another equally wonderful session which Dr. Aditi has taken for us, and it is available in the YouTube channel videos. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your ways to crack the code of success. I'm sure that this knowledge is ingrained in the minds of everybody who watched us today, and they will apply, and I will also apply in our lives. The way you have shared your words of wisdom along with your wonderful experiences from your own life, we will all cherish this session for times to come. Thank you. I would also express my gratitude and thank my Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Mahesh Verma, for his encouragement in all our endeavors. I would also like to thank Sri Ravi Dadich, Senior Denix Registrar, GGS IPU, for all the support. A heartfelt thanks to Professor Reddy, Program Coordinator NSS, GGS IPU, for being a pillar of constant encouragement, support, and motivation in this endeavor. A very heartfelt thanks to Professor Nina, who joined us today and gave her bit of wisdom as well. I would also like to thank Professor Samrat Mukhopadhyay, who's the coordinator NSS IIT Delhi, for giving us an opportunity to collaborate with the NSS unit of IIT Delhi to reach out to the students there as well. I would also like to extend my deep gratitude to Sister BK Kamla from Raja Yoga Education and Research Foundation for her invaluable contribution to this collaboration, both in terms of encouragement and in getting such internationally and nationally acclaimed speakers like Dr. Aditi for our Mind Over Matter sessions. Now I request all the participants to fill up the feedback cum questionnaire form if they wish to get the e-certificate for attending this session. You can find the link of the form in the comments below the YouTube video, as well as in the live chat of this particular video on YouTube and Zoom. To attend the 15 days online Raj Yoga meditation course being offered by RERF, and for which Dr. Aditi herself is the facilitator, you may also fill the 15-day course form link, which is available in the comments below. As announced in the beginning of the session, we are also inviting your entries for the Win There I Share series of competitions. This week, it is titled as Communicating Through My Unseen Side, a writing competition where you can submit your own experiences about the times where you communicated your unseen side, which was even covered in today's session in one of the points, and you conquered your inner issues. This can be in the form of poem, story, or an article in either languages, Hindi or English. The Google form link for this competition is also available in the comment section below. They are also available on all our social media pages. In the end, I would like to thank all the participants who have joined us today. So see you next Sunday on the same channel for another wonderful session. Thank you all for joining.